Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is the 2023 January Beginner Tack Tournament, and this is the semifinals between Adelta and Tones. This is game 2. We saw Tones come out on top as white in game 1, and now we are ready for game 2 to see if Adelta can tie this up and bring them to a tiebreaker match. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into game 2. This is played again on a 6x6 board with 15 minutes on the clock and a 10-second increment, meaning 10 seconds gets added to your time after every turn. So, let's jump right into game 2. Right away, we see opposite corner openings, and then Adelta coming in with the more traditional Knights opening to start things off. Now, from here, we'll typically see white play at d4 or f4 to continue the momentum in that horizontal direction. d4 played to get that center control quickly. f4 would have been able to get the vertical and horizontal momentum at the same time. But looks like they value that center control a little bit more than that dual momentum here. Now, if black were to play over here, I would say white would definitely drop a cap at c3, but that's not going to happen. Now, we may see white play at f4, but it looks like they're going to continue with b4. Black may continue here or may drop a capstone up at d5, c5, e4, something like that, to be able to come down and capture. Or they may wait and do b3 first and then drop a capstone up above somewhere. That is a pretty classic way to do this sort of mirrored opening that looks like what they're going for here. The mirrored opening does lend itself to bringing that capstone on the opposite side from black so that you can capture down and kind of cut off all of what white is going for. And that's exactly what they go for. They bring that capstone down on d5, ready to come down onto d4. White just going to be dropping at f4 and now probably an f3 to go in that vertical direction here. And that does work out pretty well. Yep, they do go for that f3 placement. And then f2 immediately drops from black. We may see a capstone from white here at e2. This would give white the ability to capture up onto e3 to mess with black's horizontal, or to come right to make that vertical, but probably not, because you don't want to get that capstone on the edge of the board. It's not particularly strong. Instead, going to be just dropping a flat stone there. A little risky, because you might be setting yourself up for a position where you won't be able to drop your capstone soon. So I think white probably wants to drop at f5. Black is continuing for this horizontal line, but if white drops at f5, they are building towards that vertical. Ooh, instead we see the capstone at d2. Okay. I can see that. A little odd, but I think they would have been better off dropping the capstone at e2 on the previous turn. Maybe they saw that and realized, oh, I should have probably done that. I'll drop a capstone here instead. But now we get the tag threat. White comes up with the capstone. But now black might switch gears to the vertical. On the left-hand side, switching to the vertical could work out. But, I mean, white would be able to play a4 and then probably a c2 and go for the horizontal there. But I think the vertical is what they're looking for here. They should probably play at e1 to help protect this a little bit, or maybe f6. So they do go for the e1. Black can play at c2 to make their threat. But if black plays at c2, white probably comes right with the capstone. Yeah, so c2 is made. Black is making a horizontal attack threat here. White can come right with the capstone to make that vertical threat. Now, white's got the threat, placing at f5. Black's going to want to come right with d2. And I think if they come right with d2, no matter what, this capstone's probably going to come down onto e2 to cut that off. And then after that, white would want to play at f5 to set up a strong vertical. But black is just dropping a wall there at f5 to cut that off. I guess now white plays at e5 to continue the threat. e5 gets dropped. Black can come right with a capstone. Now white drops at d4. And that makes it so white can still go for this horizontal line and keep that that capstone from getting a connection to their own pieces here. So d4, I think, works really, really well. That's what you want to be going for. But instead they go with the d3 placement. I'm not too sure about that one. Now black definitely wants to drop at d4. Or wall at d4, one of the two. Yeah, a wall at d4 would be really strong, but they're already down by 2 on flat, so they probably want to be dropping a flat at d4. Now, Aliano2 is saying a2, but I don't think so. I think that's giving way too much to white here. White wants to play at d4. You've got to be stopping the d4 placement here as black. Because that d4 is so strong, being able to go up and left. Okay, now white's got to drop d4. No, it's not a horizontal threat anymore because of that a4 placement. But it's going to work really well for the vertical. Playing at d5 next makes a pretty strong one. Okay, going to have to play at c5 now. Or at b5. I think b5 is a little bit better because it also goes for the horizontal. So you have to make a capture. You can't just place up at c6, for example. But yeah, either of these work just fine, I think. Adelta playing a little bit quicker this game. I think they realized that, that they spent a little too much time in game one, and that caused them some trouble. Falling so low on time, making quick decisions, and losing to a missed road. That'll do it. White instead plays at a5. I feel like that was a mistake, but it did result in probably the same move, which was the d5 minus. I guess here, yeah, you play at b5 to continue this connection. And you can build around it and go for the horizontal up at the top. Also really difficult for black to make this vertical line anymore. Black playing up above. Trying to get a handhold in there. So I think White probably wants to build e6. E6 to get that connection to the anchor point over there. Alino 2 likes b6 more. Okay, the wall at b3. Alright, I can see that. The wall I feel like is a little too defensive here. White has a lot of power on this board, and they're almost throwing it away with the wall on b2. It was a little unnecessary. They need to just push for their threats instead of placing such a defensive piece like that wall at b2. Now they're playing at the c5, going for this citadel and also probably for this horizontal line. They need to be playing at e6. Black not able to make a threat on this turn. Yeah, now e6 from white, I think, should make it really difficult for black. Yeah, yeah, you gotta play at e6 here, I feel like, as white. I think that was the wrong call. Playing at d5, I think, was wrong. You wanted to do e6 because now black can just wall here. Oh. Now the capstone comes up, and it can throw all the way to a5. The capstone can throw to a5. That's a fun threat. Well done, black. Now, white could definitely miss this threat. I would say probably a5 minus. Or, yeah, a5 minus because they've got this locked in as well. So you can't bring this wall left to stop it. You've got to do a5 minus or a5 plus. Oh, they missed it. White missed it, and black is able to throw all the way left to a5 for the road if black sees it. Because black may miss this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it would be the whole throw, and they do it. That was all planned. Tones wins with a sneaky, very sneaky cross-board throw. That was solid. That was a really good play there. Easy to miss in that situation, especially because it was made as sort of a defensive move to stop a road from happening. So really, really well played there, Tones. Congratulations for winning game 2 of this January 2023 Beginner TAC Tournament semifinals match. That means that Tones has moved on to the finals and will be playing against Climace right here in the finals of this tournament. So congratulations to Tones. And honestly, well played to both players. Adelta played some really strong play there, especially in game 1. A lot of really strong play from both players here. And this one, I mean, honestly, white was building such a strong presence here. And just a couple different moves, I think, would have really clinched it for him. But really, really great play from both players here in this beginner tournament. So thanks, everybody, for watching. That is all for today. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be on playtac.com or asynchronously through the Discord itself. A lot of great resources out there, and you can go ahead and take advantage of them. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tagging.